Right, hello and welcome to another Dauntless development video. Today we're going to be looking at ammo and setting up some UI to facilitate that. And we're going to have like a magazine count, so how much ammo you would have in a mag or a clip. Don't penalize me for not knowing the technical terms for everything. I'm not a gun guy. Okay, so yeah. We're going to be looking at basically handling ammo count. Now, one change I've made since we last were in here, I have changed the player movement script to player controller. Just changed the name. It's exactly the same script. I just realized that player controller sounds better because we're going to want to probably use this script as a way of doing more than just movement. So that's where this is going to be. Now, so what we're going to do, what we're going to need first is we're going to need an ammo int. Now, last time we worked on the projectile weapon, and the time before that we did the raycast weapon. Now, if you've done one or the other, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the projectile this time since it's what we worked on last. But if you want to go ahead and use the ray one, that's fine. It'll still work out basically the same, at least for the sake of this tutorial. So go ahead and choose what you want to do. But for this, we're going to need a private int called ammo, or I guess total ammo. So this variable is just going to be the total amount of ammo. So we're going to say equals, let's say 50. So we'll start out with about 50 ammo. So what we'll do is to reduce this number, all we need to do is every time we shoot, we say total ammo minus minus. Now, one thing to note, in case you're not familiar with this, because you might not be, and if you are a beginner to C#, I do have some C# tutorials which will get you through some of the basics on my channel. But just a note, since we're doing it, this little minus minus just means to take one away. Plus plus means to add one. So minus minus means take one away. It's just a shorthand way of writing it. You could also say total ammo equals total ammo minus one, and that would mean the same thing. But that's a lot more typing than just doing minus minus. Just a little note, just in case you're not aware. So that will decrease the total ammo each time. However, that won't stop you from firing, because all we have is an int that we're just decreasing. So what we need to do is we need to check if the ammo is above a certain value. Now, what we can do is we could wrap this in another if statement, but what's a little bit easier is we can just use the same one, and we can just say and, so that's two and symbols. So we say if we press the mouse button and total ammo is greater than 0, then we will shoot. If not, it won't shoot. So what we'll notice is when we go in this, in fact, I'm going to change this to 5 just so it runs out of ammo quicker, just for demonstration purposes, is when it loads and I hit play, I can fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now when I'm clicking, I don't know if you can hear the clicking, but it will no longer shoot. So there we go. We have an amount of ammo, we have it decreasing, and that's it. So see you next time. No, joking. There's still quite a few more things we need to do here. So another thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to say if so actually, before we do this if statement, we should make this function first. So we're going to want a function called pickup ammo. So we're going to make a public void pickup ammo, and this will do exactly what you would expect. It would pick up an amount of ammo, and we'll put an input variable of an int, and we'll just say amount. So we'll pick up a specified amount of ammo whenever this function's called. Now, we can use this so that when we collide with, say, if when like we walk over an ammo box, we could collect the amount of ammo that's in the box, or when you press like say E or right click or click on something that's an ammo, um, something that deposits ammo, you can restock by a certain amount. We're going to just call a function when you hit a key for now, just because it's simpler, but we will add some sort of interactions like that later. So all we're going to do is pick up ammo. We'll just say ammo, total ammo plus equals amount. So we're increasing total ammo by the amount. So that's nice and simple. So what we'll say is if input dot get key down, so get key down, and then we'll say a key code. What should we use? Let's say R. R for reload. So when we hit R, we'll just say pick up ammo, and we'll just say 5, just because that was what we were using. So pick up ammo 5. So now, what we can do is we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't shoot anymore, but then I hit R. See? So you can keep reloading and keep shooting. And if you want, you can reload multiple times. You could hit R, which I guess maybe that was a poor button, because we're going to use that later for something else. So I'm going to actually change that key. I'm going to just change it to, keycode.p for pickup. And you'll see why soon. So whenever we press P, we'll pick up 5 ammo. So that is how we can pick up ammo and have an ammo count, and that's the very basics. So if you just want to have an amount of ammo and you want to shoot forever until you run out, you can essentially stop there. However, if you want your weapon to use like some kind of magazine system or clip, or I don't really know what's the right term, honestly. But let's just say a magazine system. So you want to have your bullets stored in a magazine, and you want to reload the magazine, and that magazine will have a certain amount of ammo in it, and you'll have a total store of ammo somewhere else. So if you want to handle it like that, we're going to need some more variables. So we're going to need another private int, and we're going to call that, so we'll just call it mag ammo. So this will be the amount of ammo that's in the current mag. So we'll just say, in fact, we'll say 0. We'll start it off at 0. And we'll say private int mag size. So this will be the amount of ammo that can be stored in the magazine. And let's say 5. So we have a total ammo, which will be how much is stored. We have mag ammo, and we have mag size. So mag ammo is what's in the mag, and mag size is how big it can be, how many bullets can fit in one mag. So instead of checking if the total ammo is greater than 0, we'll check if mag ammo is greater than 0. And pickup ammo will still do the same thing, but we will now want a reload function. And oh yeah, and we also don't want to change total ammo here. We want to change mag ammo. So you see that now, when we shoot, we check to see, is there any ammo in the mag? If not, don't do anything. If there is, then shoot and decrease the amount of ammo in the mag. So this won't affect total ammo until we do this next function. So the function we're going to make here is just going to be, we'll just make it public. In fact, no, it doesn't need to be public. We'll say private. So private void, and we'll say reload. Reload. And this won't need an input because we'll always be trying to fill the mag. So The simplest thing would be to simply do, say, mag ammo equals mag size and total ammo minus equals mag size. However, if you don't have enough ammo, then it's going to make the total ammo negative, and it's still going to reload the mag. So you could still reload even if you have no total ammo. So we need to guard against that. So first of all, there's 3 cases we need to look out for. The first case is if there isn't enough ammo to fill the mag, in which case we only want to fill it by a certain amount, by however much is left. There's also the case where we don't need to fill the mag because it's already full. And there's yeah, I think that's it actually. Yeah, so there's either not enough ammo or we don't need to reload in the first place. So what we need to do is we just need to say, first of all, if total ammo is greater than or equal to mag size minus mag ammo, oops, and I'm just going to delete these now. So what we're saying here is if the amount of ammo is either more than or exactly the same as the amount of ammo that's missing from the mag. So mag size is obviously the maximum. So if say the mag size was 5 and you had no ammo inside, it would be checking to say, is there 5 rounds? If there is, then we can just say simply mag size. Sorry, not mag size. Mag ammo equals mag size and total ammo minus equals this. And I don't think it'll make a difference, but I think it's always good to wrap these things in brackets just in case. So now we're going to look at our else if. In fact, just our else. We don't need to do an if. So what we can say is, so if there isn't enough ammo to fill the mag, instead what we'll say is mag ammo plus equals total ammo. And this will never go beyond the limit of the mag because we've already checked to see if it could fill the mag. So if it can't fill the mag, then there's clearly not enough ammo. So this is why we don't need to do any additional checks. So we're going to increase by the total ammo, and then we'll just say total ammo equals 0. So all we're doing is we're just adding the amount of ammo there is, and then just setting total ammo to be 0. Now, if total ammo is already 0, it will add nothing, and it'll just assign this again, which isn't too expensive. We could do an additional check to say if the ammo is 0, but that doesn't really matter. One thing I will do is I'm going to just put another if statement at the top, and I'm just going to say if mag ammo equals mag size, then we'll just say return. So we won't do anything, we'll just get out of this function. So that's what return does, by the way. Return will immediately leave whatever function you're in. If you have a void function, which means it has no return type, it doesn't pass any information back. When you call return, instead of returning data, it just leaves the function instead. So we don't need a return statement in void functions, but you can still use return to leave. So we use this as a quick exit. So if you already have a full mag, then you don't need to do anything to do with the reload. So if we had like a sound effect or an animation or anything we played that happened when we reload, we can do this first and then if all else fails, we'll do all the rest of the stuff. Yeah, so it would never even check this if statement, which is why this doesn't need to be else if or anything. So that will handle our mags. Now, we won't really notice much of a difference when we first try it. Did I? I don't believe I did. No, I didn't. Okay, that's one more thing. We need to check our input again because we're going to need to have a reload. So get key down, and we're going to just say keycode.r, and I'll just say reload. So that will reload the gun. So what we should see is if everything's worked out as planned, we should not be able to shoot yet because we start off at 0. I'm going to hit R, and now we can shoot. I hit R again. Huh. So I've clearly made a mistake. Let's go back and have a look and see what it was. So, taking a look at this reload function again. Going through the logic. First of all, we say if the mag ammo is equal to the mag size, so if the mag's full, return. So that's not the problem. Because we seem to be reloading more ammo than what we have. So we're also going to check if the total ammo is greater than the amount of ammo needed to fill the mag. And then we say mag ammo is equal to mag size. And then we reduce by that amount. Now, because we've set this here, mag size minus mag ammo is always going to be 0, so we're never reducing the total ammo. So that's the mistake I made. It needs to be the other way around. So we need to flip those two lines around. So line 56 and 57 for me, it might be different for you. So we need to modify the total ammo first. And that's because obviously if we assign this mag ammo first, we won't be able to reduce total ammo by that amount. So now, if we go into the scene, I try to click, I can't shoot, I hit R, I can shoot, I hit R again, it doesn't work until I hit P, and then I hit R, and I can shoot again. So, at the moment, you've just got to take my word for it that that's what's happening. So, it might be worth working on some UI. So we're going to just set up a tiny bit of UI, just so we can see the ammo. So, when working with UI, you always need to start off with a canvas. And everything that's inside UI, any UI on your screen always needs to be inside a canvas. So we're going to go to UI, and we're going to say canvas down here. And this canvas basically, and by the way, if you double click on the hierarchy, it will center the camera around something. And if we click this little 2D button up here, it'll switch us to 2D mode. So this is the screen. Now, when you're working with UI, one important thing to do is to always make sure your game view is set to an actual aspect ratio that might be similar to what you're going to use. Now, the reason for this is because as you change aspect ratios, where your UI will be on the screen might entirely change. So I tend to use 16:9 or 16:10 because they are very common aspect ratios. So, using 16:10, this represents a 16:10 screen. So what we can do is when we're adding UI things, we can just right click on the canvas and add it directly to it. So we're going to go to UI and we're going to add text. And what this text will be is our ammo count. So we'll just call this ammo text. And this I'm going to position in the bottom right. And one thing that you need to do when you are working on UI is over here we have what's called an anchor. So you can set the anchor point to be wherever you want on the screen. Well, not wherever you want, to 9 specific locations. So you can choose the top left, the top middle, the top right, and so on, and go into the complete center. Now, you always want to anchor to the closest point on the screen where you want it to stay. So if I anchor to the bottom right here, it will always try to stay in the bottom right. So when I change resolution, I'm just going to actually, before I do that, I'm just going to make this text a bit clearer. So this is just like any kind of text editing. You can choose fonts. Now by default, it only comes with one font, but you can download your own fonts. I'm just going to increase the font size. I'm going to increase the size of the box just so it fits, just so we can see it. Now, you can check the UI by looking at the game view all the time. So, as you can see, I anchor to the bottom right over here. And as I change the aspect ratio, it always stays in the bottom right, which is exactly what we want. Now, if I anchor to the center middle, and I do the same thing again, you see that it now goes off the screen because it tries to stay the same distance from the center of the screen, which means it stays exactly where it is. If I was to anchor it to the top right, and then I did that, it would still kind of work because it would only be moving from left to right. But if we change to a different perspective, say we were to go to a portrait perspective, you see now it's all the way up there. So if you were working on a game, on a mobile game, and you were working on a portrait perspective, then this wouldn't look too good. So going back to here, I'm going to set the anchor point where it should be. And as I said, this will have the amount of ammo that's in. So we'll display it something along the lines of 0 out of 5. And since I can see that on the screen, I'm just going to drag this just to make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to align it to the right, just so it looks kind of more correct. And I'm going to drag it away from the edge. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to make it look a bit better, but realistically, when you're working on UI, you want to spend a good amount of time making it look good. But what we need to do is, if we're going to handle this in code, we need to go to the top of our projectile script, our projectile gun, and we're going to need to say using Unity Engine.ui. And the reason for this is because whenever we're going to handle anything in UI, we need to say that we're using that namespace. So that's what these things are. Again, I've discussed these things in my C# tutorial series if you're curious. So we need to use that namespace so that we can access the variable called. So I'm going to make a public text. So in order to get that, you need to be using unityengine.ui. And you'll see it'll highlight in white once we start using it. And I'm just going to say ammo text. So we'll drag this in. You see it highlighted there because we're now using it. These ones are grey because we're not using anything inside them. You might get this highlighting, you might not, especially if you're not using Visual Studio, you probably won't. But yeah, that's just what that means. So ammo text is going to be that text object we made. So I'm going to go over to the gun here, and I'm going to drag over ammo text into there. So now we have a reference to that text on screen. So I'm going to make a function. I'm just going to make a separate function that'll update the ammo whenever it needs to be updated. So I'm going to make a private void update ammo text. Now you could handle all your UI in a separate class, which is often done, but since we're at the moment we only have this one little ammo counter, it makes sense to handle it just in the weapon. Now obviously if you have multiple weapons, it doesn't make sense to do that, so you'd likely store things, you'd likely store that in another place. But as I said, we only have one weapon at the moment, so that's what we're going to do. So we'll just say ammo text dot text. Now the reason you say dot text is because the ammo text itself is the text object, and then when we say dot text, we're accessing the string that's inside the text object. So we're changing what goes inside this little text box here. So we say that equals, and then we enter a string here. Now you can use a what you place a $sign here, and we can say mag ammo out of total ammo. We can write it like that. And what that'll do is it will just update the text to display whatever the current mag ammo is slash the total ammo. So essentially every time we call reload, as long as the mag isn't full, we want to just call update ammo text, because that's whenever the ammo will change. We also want to update the ammo text whenever we pick up more ammo. So we'll say update ammo text here. And we'll also want to make sure it's initialized correctly. So we'll say update ammo text in the start function as well. So now, when we go into the game, we can hit play once it loads. And you'll be able to see I'm clicking, but it's not shooting. I reload. It's now 5 out of 0. I shoot. That's one thing we've missed. So if I reload again, it'll update. We want to update the ammo text every time we shoot. So I'm going to just say update ammo text here as well. So anytime the ammo changes, you want to do it. So reload, shoot, 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 shoot. There we go, out of ammo. Can't reload again. I hit P to pick up. Hit P again, and I can pick up lots of ammo, and I can reload, and I can reload. And if I hit R again, it doesn't reload because the mag is full. If I shoot one, it'll only take one. So we can see that it's all working just as intended. And we can have that. Now, you don't have to have the mag system work like this. You could have, say, an amount of magazines in the in your inventory, and you can only load a full one, perhaps, and you won't just top it up. I'm not going to bother going into that right now. It's just very similar, and realistically, if you've managed to follow this through, you should be able to work that out yourself, and it'll probably be a good exercise for you to work it out on your own. But yeah, you can do it like that as well if you want, where you just have full mags, and when you get rid of one full mag, whenever you reload, you'll throw away the ammo you currently have. That's one way of doing it. But this is the system I prefer personally. And it's a system you see in most games, because typically it doesn't feel like good to throw away ammo most of the time in games. You want to conserve every bit. But yeah, so that's all I was going to cover for today. So next time, we'll probably look at having some collectibles like ammo pickups. So we'll actually pick up ammo off the ground instead of just hitting P. And we'll have perhaps some kind of scoring system so that when we shoot enemies, we'll get some points. But yeah, that will be whenever the next one comes out. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.